Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. Today, thanks to the guys over at Robot Kingdom, I'm taking a look at Shuraking SRK-03 Wrath, aka Grimlock. This is the third offering from GCreation, part of their Combiners Legend team. And this time, just having a quick look around the box, we can see it's printed out in this purple and gold. On the back there, we've got Grimlock in his Dinosaur mode, his artillery equipment mode, robot. We've got a silhouette there of his combined form. We've got the combination torso mode, and we've also got him fully equipped with the extra section being used as a shield. Now, there are choking hazards, so don't eat your toys. First of all, the box is a lot smaller as well, which is great. Nothing like that huge, ridiculous box we got with the Toy World Grimlock. Without further ado, let's crack him open. And here he is. And behold, he was grand. Really love the look of this guy. It's very close to what we got with the official Takara Grimlock Masterpiece, but with enough subtle differences to kind of give him the edge. Considering he is in essence, I guess, a triple changer because he does become a torso, they've done a remarkable job. He looks gorgeous. Obviously, we have his sword. We have this huge body chest plate here, which kind of parts forms when we use the torso mode. We have replacement feet. If you remember, with the two previous molds we got, the feet, the toes didn't actually match. They were slightly different. These are to make all the toes match. And we've got a baggie full of accessories to help combine him, and of course a big rifle in there as well. Let's start off with Grimlock himself. If you follow my Facebook page, I uploaded a load of photos of this guy yesterday, just as I got him out of the box, just to have a quick play with him. And he is really nice. I can't express how awesome he looks in hand. He's kind of got, the shoulders are a lot more bulky. He's kind of looking a bit more hench, almost kind of war within, that sort of vibe about him. Really nice, aggressive face sculpt as well there. Just really well done. There is a slight problem that I found. It's designed that way, but personally I would have changed it. The sword and the gun have this same peg here. They basically slot into the palm of the hand, slot in, locate, slide that in, close the fingers. Done job. Now, unfortunately, this hand is basically reversed because we can attach the entire shield section, which really does bulk him up, makes him look extremely armoured. But as a result, the sword itself doesn't actually peg fully into this slot because the slot's the other way around. So, I mean, you can put it in and you can close the hand and it's not going anywhere. You know, that's closed in there and it won't come out, but the peg itself doesn't slide all the way to the back of the actual palm of the hand. I know it's a slight fault, but that's just how it's been designed. I don't know if there is a way of altering that. Trouble is, I really like him holding his shield because the sword and everything can peg into the back of the shield, and it looks really good, so I won't want to change it anyway. But that is just one thing. Just the fingers lock around it, plentiful. It's just that groove there. I mean, it holds it upside down. That holds perfectly. But it's just something that I've noticed. That sculpt is incredible, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Such an aggressive sculpt. Loving this detailing on the front here as well. This section here can come untabbed, so we can put an Autobot logo on there. I like that they've included the space for that. Really nice. Just look at the levels of detailing here. Love the Grimlock head as well. Just look at those teeth. There's the combiner head. Yeah, it's hidden away subtly enough, I think. That's not a bad back profile there for Grimlock. It's kind of what we've come to expect, isn't it? love the red accents as well. The paint on this is by far the best that they've done. I don't know whether they've changed their factory or not, but they seem to be doing a bit of a kind of a unique toys on us. They just seem to be getting better and better and better, and I'm really loving the work they're doing. The plastic quality is by far the best they've done. It feels almost like an upgraded version of Planet X, if that makes sense. It's really, really robust. He feels very, very solid in hand, and yeah, I'm genuinely very, very impressed. Some of the third parties out there are really, really up in their game, and we seem to be getting a lot more plastic for our buck, if that makes sense. Now, let's just cover the articulation. The head has got a really deep look down, really nice high look up. It's on a ball there, so you've got a ridiculous amount of range. You can even tilt for a very inquisitive look, both sides, and of course we can go all the way around, full 360 degrees. The shoulders are extremely tight due to the fact that we use all of this mechanism here for the combined mode. So what I've found, if we hold on to the gold piece underneath there, I think it just gives it just a little bit extra support. Because it's such a tight joint, I don't want to be pulling away at this and applying pressure to the gold painted plastic, kind of the chromy plastic there, because this bit feels a little bit weaker than what this big huge chunk here does. So I apply pressure on here. God, sounds so good. And we can go, it's on a rocker up there, so we can go up. That's a fairly nice range on that, isn't it, for that shoulder? It's not the best because we can't get it all the way up there, but it's still a good range for Grimlock. And obviously we can then drop the shoulder down as well, depending on how you want him displayed, really. We've got an upper bicep swivel. We've got a double jointed elbow, but much the same as what we got with the Toy World figure. It's kind of hindered. You can get it up to here, and then you can bring this one up. So you are getting slightly beyond the 90 degree, but you can't really take benefit of that full range of motion just because of how bulky and chunky his forearms are. The hands are on swivels with an open and close peg on the fingers. The waist is on an absolutely lovely joint there, and this whole section is set far enough back so as not to get hindered at all by the legs. The body does tilt forward and back. I mean, that's a pretty nice ab crunch there, isn't it? I quite like that. The legs, I started to panic when I saw the legs. I thought, oh no, they're fixed skirts. The legs aren't going to move forward. The entire section moves. Of course it does, and it's ridiculously tight. Everything on this figure is tight. I mean, it probably maybe be toned down a little bit and maybe just adjusted so it's not quite as tight. I know it's used to support the entire weight of the legs and the arms in the combined mode, but it does come across as quite tight. The legs can click up and up again to the splits position. Again, there's just this swivel joint inside there, and that joint actually does move slightly on the hip as well, so we do get a really nice, good range. There's an upper thigh swivel, again on a ratchet. Now, the knees, I'm not a huge fan of the knees. They bend, but they're a very low bend. Kind of bend, I wish they'd kind of bend at the top there as opposed to the bottom. We don't get as great a range as I'd like because this section here is tabbed in, and if we want to get the full range, it kind of knocks this section here back. I mean, as it is, we can get a fair bit of range on those knees, some pretty dynamic diving poses, just not quite as much as I would have liked. Coming down to the ankles, we've got very, very nice pivot there. It is only the toe section that pivots forward. It goes all the way. I mean, that's a ridiculously long stance. We can adjust the heel spur accordingly to give him some nice balance when he is in the really wide stance. And he stands remarkably well. There isn't many Grimlocks on the market that are as well balanced and as agile as this guy. Now, another thing I really like is the fact that these back sections, again, are on a really nice hinged joint. Everything seems to be ratcheted. You can have those wings up nice and high, or you can drop them down, sink them back, or bring them forward. It's nice because you can get a chance to display him exactly as you see fit. Right, now we can bring in this chest plate section, which is obviously going to form the chest and the crotch. But for now, I'm going to use it as his heavy-duty shield. So just unplug this tabbed section at the back here. It's tabbed in at 4 points. Just give it a little wiggle, and that will slide out. Just tabbed in here, 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 and here, 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 and here. Slide these sections apart. Slide them in either side of the hand. Re-tab these sections together, pushing that in firmly, and then we can grab his sword, and that can just rest on the back of the hand. And there he is. I think that looks badass, I already do. I know it's a big, big, bulky thing, but he does look like he's seriously prepped for war. He looks hard as nails. Now, this section is solid, and I mean solid. It is heavy as heck. It's nearly as heavy as something like, I don't know, some of the early Fans Toys stuff, and that's just the torso. He is pretty heavy. And so the joints have to be somewhat tight to support all that weight. But yes, he looks very, very prepped for war. Let's just bring in these two guys to see how they all look together. I'm so glad I started buying these when I did. They do look absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to get them all together. The trouble is, when you get a figure like this that looks good in all three modes, how do you display it? Do you buy 3 of them? Because I mean, that's a lot of money to buy 3 of them, isn't it? It's going to be such a tough choice. Hey ho, first world problems, eh? And here he is with his Masterpiece-esque counterparts. Obviously, we have the Takara Masterpiece. Well, officially it's the Hasbro Masterpiece, isn't it? It's the Hasbro release in the Toys R Us. But he does look a little bit cheap. His plastic is somewhat thin and lacking that detail that the GCreation give us. And Toy World kind of looks like a paint-by-numbers Tonka toy in comparison. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Here he is with some more Masterpiece-inspired figures. I'd say he's probably just a little bit too shy to be standing with the likes of the Fans Toys and the Gigapower lot. But he does fit in nicely with the likes of MP10 and your Ironhide and your Wheeljack. I think they look pretty darn good together. And here he is with Decepticon Woody, looking sharp. Right, let's get Grimlock changed up into his Dino mode. First things first, let's get rid of all those weapons. Right, with all the weapons detached, the first port of call is just to unpeg this back section here. Just untab the black section and extend this backpack out. Now, in extending the backpack, you can see these grey tabs here. You want to just flip the grey tabs down. Basically, they've tabbed into this screw hole just inside there. Untab this one as well. Now, when it comes to the head, it doesn't make it very clear in the instructions. There's no real clearance. If you flip up this chrome section at the front here, there's not actually that great deal of clearance between him and the red section there. But I found if you nip the red pieces at the side here in, we can actually lift the chrome section up individually, pulling this red section down. Now I've got a full range of motion there to flip this section all the way round, and then we can close that back off. We can now slide the red section back into the torso and tab the grey sections back in. Remove these chrome sections off the back of the shield. We're going to use these as fillers for Grimlock's neck. Untab these sections on the back here, flip that one up, flip that one up, flip up the evil Grimlocky combiner Shuraking head. Just place that there. Tab these sections together and they are going to slide down into Grimlock's neck, and then we can close this section back off again like so. Rotate this head, pull it back, and you can see there's a tab just here that's going to rock in and tab on the base underneath like so. This whole section is then going to lift up like so. Pull this section down, then bring the wing section up and just over the shoulder. Loads of movement here, so that's going to slide in nicely. There's a tab at the top of the neck, so they should tab in either side of that. There and there. Tab them together at the top and bottom like so, and just compress that against the torso, tabbing that in. We can then bring round the Grimlock arms like this, and we're getting there. Make sure the chrome sections of the shoulders are located just behind this grey tab to secure them into place. Bring the arms up, straighten those out, and you want to pull down this back section here, and then if we close off the fists, we can just rotate the fists around and close off the back of the heel. Tilt the waist swivel and tab the black tab into the bottom pegs. Right, to transform up the legs, we want to just tilt the hip joint. I like to straighten up the legs, just find it slightly easier. Give me a little bit more room to play on the inside there. Straighten up this hip so it goes downwards. You want to flip open this section here. You want to flip around this section here. And basically this section here also flips up. That now allows us to untab this section here completely. This here is going to end up being up the top section here. So what you need to do, you need to wiggle this section up, rotate that one around, pull this up out of the way. If we come to the side here, this is going to go up, and as it goes up, we're going to slide it down on a kind of sliding peg thingy here. There we go. Go that way. So it's all the way down, and keep turning it like so. Slide this leg joint just so it's flat on here. It won't sit perfectly flat yet because we just need to come under here, and there's this grey tab. You need to line the grey tab up. It's a matter of straightening the leg, and there's a tab, circle tab here, and there is a square kind of rectangle tab underneath. Just gonna do that like so. Make sure that's all tabbed in square, and then you can marry these two up as well, and they are going to tab in together. Also, that will now allow us to line this back section up like so. Tab that in, tab that in. That can all now be secured. Tab these sections together as well. Bring this tail section down. Flip this grey section up out of the way. Allow us to bring this section up. Bring that tail section back down again. Then if we come round to this grey section here, you want to start to twist it round. All the way around. Move this section out of the way. Actually, we'll go this way. This will be easier. So it's facing downwards like so. And then from here, you want to go up, around, and down. So it's in that position. So when we bring this section over, they can marry up and tab in together like so. Straighten out the tail, slide that black section into the groove. I'll do the same with this side. There and there. There's so many tabs on this that everything kind of has to line up for everything to tab in firmly. And there he is, all transformed up into his T-Rex mode. That looks glorious. Absolutely love the look of that. Very, very nice. Very kind of tail heavy, but nonetheless, he definitely looks the part. Head sculpt is fantastic. We've got the ability to open the mouth. We've got the kind of laser on the inside there as well. He just looks amazing. Love, 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 love the look of that. Got his beady little T-Rex arms with the bendable claws, all on a ball joint as well, so we've got a nice range of motion there. The legs we've already covered. And go forward, back, very, very stiff still. Rotation and bend either way, and a bend at the toe. The tail, unfortunately, is in this fixed position. It has like 1,000 pegs in there holding everything together. But nonetheless, he does look insanely good. Let's see if we can get him in a nice little running pose there as well. Really, really happy with how his Dino mode has come out. One of the small accessories that we get is a square peg, which allows us to slide this in here, slide that down, and we can bring in his gun, and we can actually mount his gun on his back like so. That, I think, looks really nice. I love that that can be mounted on there. You can also mount the black section here and these two side sections here, which again allows us to mount the backpack on the back there. We can just plug that in. We can slot the backpack section on, and we can plug the guns into the side there. Unfortunately, I still haven't worked out a way of making the guns equal. Obviously, the guns here run separately, and the peg doesn't flip vice versa. So the gun is going to be the opposite that way around. It's going to peg in and it's going to be upside down. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to rectify that. I thought they were going to release something with this figure actually to help rectify the gun section. I'm going to look through all the extra little pieces and see if there's anything that I can use. So I might have to do an update video if I figure out how to do that. Now, here they are all together in their T-Rex mode. I still think the GCreations is much, much better than the Toy World figure. It just looks a lot more G1-esque, just the general sculpt, the positioning of where the Autobot logo and that can go. It's kind of a reimagined, kind of beefed up, more Cybertronian look, I guess. I just feel sorry for Toy World, really. It's definitely the runt of the litter. The Hasbro Takara one still looks the most G1 cartoon accurate, but it's got that horrible, horrible gimmick that I really dislike, the whole turning head thing. There was a slight piece of parts forming here where we put the gold sections from the backpack into the neck, which I wasn't a fan of, but I can see why they did that, just to pad out the neck, to give it some high level of detailing. Here he is with his comrade-in-arms. Now, they really, really do look good together, don't they? It's a fantastic trio. I can't help but feel that his aesthetics are slightly different, though. He does just look slightly out of place. The other two have that really nice kind of G1 toy vibe to him, and he's a little bit more Cybertronian, a little bit more robot-esque, I guess, but nonetheless they fit extremely well and they do look insanely good. Now, to get Grimlock ready for Shuraking mode, we just need to basically start by unfolding this tail. So just untab these sections here and just pull those up, and we're going to basically separate the tail again. There's so many tabs in here. The best way I find is just to grab underneath here and work it apart this way, popping out a majority of those tabs straight away. Once we've split those tabs, you want to just pop this section off, fold this section up, And that way we can maneuver the legs. Untab this tab on the inside here. Just lift that up out of the way. Now we've got all of this room here, so we can start to maneuver and fix these legs. With this crotch section square again, just untab this black tab underneath, get your nail under there, and that's basically located in this hole here. Now slide this section out and we can bring that back down. With the legs unfolded, straighten them out, and this section is going to rock down. And as we rock it down, it's going to rotate. Just apply pressure on that hinge, push the hinge up. So that's going to locate there. The tail section, we want to just flip this out. We want to push this section back in and tab that back in again. You want to rotate this black piece. That's going to come all the way down. So you want to get this piece out of the way first, which is easier than done. That's going to come up, and you want that just out of the way. This section here is going to turn. So I move this round. God, such a tight joint. That is going to form the peg which we use to join the combiner feet mode. You can then slide this section in, and if we just look here, this needs to rotate out. There's a tab on the inside of the leg there, and these here. That's going to rock over. Get those joints lined up correctly, and that will slide in and tab in there like so, so it's flush. Pull this section down and into this position here. Now that this leg section is here, you've got this grey section that pulls across. We've got a tab and a hole just here, and we've got one here, and one on the outskirts of this grey section. So make sure everything lines up. Tab in, and tab in. There we go, that secures all of that on the inside of the leg. Bring this section down, and that's going to tab in to the back of the heel, like so. Reverse this section around, bring that up and rotate into the foot, and that's the legs done. The next step of the transformation is to partly untransform the dino section. I think the easiest way of doing this is really held together really firmly. So I apply pressure on this top section here, give that a little tug, and that allows this section to pop out. We can now untab this section from the inside, rock that up and over the shoulders, like so. This section here, we want to actually turn the head around like so, and that's going to come down. Make sure these tabs are brought down. Come over to the backpack chest shield thing, unplug this, lift this section up, slide that round, wiggle it out, apply pressure to this back section here. Allows you just to pop that last stiff peg out and bring this section out to the side again. You want to now remove this peg here that's pegged into the base of the shield, like so. Take that section off, and it actually now allows us to slide out the mushroom peg, so we now have a separate torso and groin section. Make sure this red section is slid all the way down and just locked into place. We've got this big red hole here visible at the front, and what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this section around. We're going to open up these, and with a little bit of maneuvering we can slide that in and slide these up under the arms. I'll see if I can do that on camera. It's easier said than done because I'm steadying the camera whilst maneuvering. Right, that's in at the base. Bring that section up there, and that's going to come in round the side, and there's a tab on either side of this gold section. See that there? That's going to tab in there, that's going to tab in there, and then this section here, drop with those pins dropped. I'm going to tab in over those pins and in either side of the chrome. These two black sections up behind the head, and they are going to tab in together just behind these shoulders. So you need to just maneuver the shoulders, make sure they're completely clear of any restrictions, and just tab those sections in together. And if we just look at the very back section here, there's these two pegs here. That's just going to tab in there, and the same over on this side here. The Grimlock head and backpack section is going to line up, make sure everything's tabbed in. That's the trouble, there's about 16 million tabs to get in here, and you need to make sure every single one lines up into place for everything to be held securely and firmly. There we go. Final tab to secure everything in the back there. Just the black section we pull behind the Grimlock head. Just slide that down, and that's going to tab in there as well. And that is now going to hold absolutely everything into place. Now bend up the back section of the arm. Rotate this section. Actually needs to come forward, so just rotate it on that axis, bringing it forward. Bring this section down like this, and if you see here, we've got various tabs here that need to line up. If I show you, there's a tab here, a tab here, and a tab here, and on the inside of the leg there's a tab here, and you've got a tab here, and there's a tab just at the top here, which all correspond with the sections here. So let's just line those up, line that up, tab, 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 and come on, in you go. There we go, that's now firmly tabbed into position. Right, one of the last little pieces for us to mess around with is the crotch section. You want to just pop that section off the red front piece, give it a little wiggle, it's just pegged on there, like so. And then these are on a double hinge. You want to pull the hinge out and extend it. And whilst extending these actually tab in underneath, like so. These sections tab together. These are going to slide through this crotch section here. We're going to slide that in. This tab here is going to just push down and out of the way. Slide these through and come round to the back here. Hinge this section up, and that's just going to tab in to Grimlock's butt. And there we have the crotch section in place. I'll just untab this section here by giving a little push to the right and then bringing it down. Just tabbed in at the top here. Pull this section down, and now that can then slide down into the crevice here and the peg. And here he is on his legs. He's pretty big, isn't he? Wow. It's going to look fantastic when he's fully combined. Can't wait to get the arms and the wings and that on him. He is going to look absolutely insane. Let's just take a closer look. Let's take a look at the face sculpt. It's a really nice headed mask there. We could just pull this up. We can slide the mask section off, revealing the really nasty, scary face. The head does peg in to the chest, but there's not a great range of play here. You can move the head up, down, left, and right. It's just a very, very tight joint. I do love that unmasked face though, but I think I do actually prefer the masked head. I don't know what it is about it. It just looks very, very professional. It's just a very all-round good finish. Going down to the chest, again we have this removable plastic section with the Autobot logo space there. Really nice chromed out groin section. Carries on throughout traditional Grimlock blue, green and red. And then we get down to the legs. Now as you can see, I've actually changed the feet over so they match. We've got a T here and a T here. I haven't used the replacement toes yet, they're basically 2 more T's. All I did was I just pulled the sections apart and just swapped them over and joined the one that was with this one, I joined it with this one. So it's a nice, really simple, easy fix. Oh man, this guy is insanely big. I do also get this gun bracket which can fit over the top, but again, until they replace the gun here, I do have an odd pair, so you can mount those over there, but it's going to bash against this because unfortunately they're the same gun. Now this is the comparison people were waiting for. That is a much more comparable size. I think that works really well. He is going to absolutely annihilate Devastator. Now this guy is super big and super heavy and really difficult to try and show you the articulation on camera. The head we've already covered. The waist is on a really nice ratchet joint there. The legs, you've got this flappable skirt at the front there. So we can move that up, which allows us to get this leg and move it forward, move it back, but the legs are just so heavy. They really are, because you've got so much weight on these dinos. I mean, I don't think the joint is going to give out. I just don't think we're going to get as much range and dynamic poses as I would have liked, just the sheer weight of his legs. I mean, he is not going to fall over there. I mean, I can push him and wobble him around, and he is way more secure than the Toy World offering. And we can bend the feet down, we can adjust the ankles, and we can get a fairly wide stance. You know, I think that's a pretty wide stance for a big guy like this. So there we have it, guys. This is Wrath, the latest offering from GCreation, their SRK-03, part of their Shuraking combiner. Very impressed. It's definitely a high-end collectible. It's bang on the buck. He does exactly what it says on the tin. As soon as I complete this guy, I'm going to be getting shot of my Toy World Dino Combiner. He's just not even half the man that this guy is. Really glad I stuck it out. Don't get me wrong, I do love my dinos, and the Toy World ones are a nice little addition, but they're going. This guy literally wipes the floor with them. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I shall do full comparison pictures on Benscollectables.com. I'm going to have to go back now. I've run out of daylight, so I'm going to have to go and take some photos in the morning of this guy compared to the Toy World's interpretation. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry it's been a bit lengthy, but there's been a heck of a lot to cover. Thanks again to the guys over at Robot Kingdom for getting this shipped out to me, and to the guys over at GCreations. Please keep up the great work. You guys are getting better and better, and you really are impressing me with your design. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Until next time, goodbye.